Gaming World with me, John Jordan. It is the start of October, so time to look back at what's been going on in terms of on-chain activity in 2022 for blockchain games. So this is the regular roundup I do every month. Data as ever from DappRadar, so I just go to DappRadar and pull their data. So you can download the CSV. You can download the data in a CSV file if you are a DappRadar Pro account, which just means you have to own some of the Radar token and be logged in. So what we got here, obviously January 2023 starting here, and we are seeing sort of quite a lot of change going on, I think. So Alien Worlds in blue has been the biggest blockchain game for the year, apart from a little bit here where it was sort of neck and neck with Splinterlands in red. But Alien Worlds has been the biggest game, over 200,000 daily active unique wallets. So we don't know those could be run by the same sort of people. There's always the idea of sort of bots in here as well. We don't know that. This is just the raw data. Although DappRadar does generally try and filter out sort of bots as well, and obviously these apps also try and filter out bots. So, but it's a matter of debate how many bots there are in here. What we can see is really in August there was a big drop for Alien Worlds. So it went down from over 200,000 where it had been the whole year, and came crashing through 150,000 and down even lower. Maybe 120,000. It's sort of risen a little bit, but still under 150,000 daily active unique wallets. Part of this is they have actually been running an anti-bot campaign within, sort of run from their community. They've also changed the reward system in terms of mining, so it sort of more incentivizes people with higher level NFTs, which is a similar thing than Splinterlands did this time last year, and that sort of economically drives a lot of bots out of the system. So it's sort of an indirect way of driving out bots and actually rewarding your players better. So a combination of things going on here, and we'll see Alien Worlds if that's going to now sort of sit around 150,000. Obviously, depending on what's going on in the general crypto world, the Alien Worlds token is at an all-time low. The Splinterlands token is at an all-time low. So these things, a year's worth now, crypto bear market obviously drives these things down over time as well. So Alien Worlds, we'll see where it ends up, but now no longer the most popular blockchain game in terms of raw activity. So we've got something weird here with Farmers World. So Farmers World, Alien Worlds runs on Wax, a bit on BNB, but mainly on Wax. Farmers World also runs on Wax, and it's not a game actually I've played very, very regularly. I have sort of tried it out. It is a sort of simplified version of sort of farming, where you sort of have NFTs and you farm tokens, and then you can sort of resources, and then you can sort of farm more things out. What's interesting here in terms of the data release is this is the data we had from DappRadar in yellow. Then there's a gap, and when I pulled the data down today, this was all the data I got. So this is the only data that DappRadar is showing for Farmers World. All this data is no longer listed on DappRadar. This is my own historic data that I've kept. So quite how these things join up, I don't know. There is a gap of about 2 weeks. So something weird is going on here. Farmers World is generally seen as quite a weird app. It's generally seen as an app which is not being supported by the developer anymore. But clearly, why people are playing it and why that number now is much bigger than it was in August, I don't know. So total lack of information there from me. Maybe I have to spend a bit of time trying to sort that out. But in terms of the raw data, at least Farmers World is now the most popular blockchain game with 150,000 DAUs. And we could say in the past it has been pretty steady, at maybe 60,000, but quite why it's gone up. Normally things go up because people are either very interested in the game and new people are coming in, or because there's some resource that people are interested in. So I don't know what's going on there with Farmers World, but it is obviously something to be looking out for in future months. Splinterlands has just sort of continued a downward trend, so it's been under 50,000 sort of regularly since July, and going even lower. So again, the token, the PSP token is at the lowest it's been, and they've announced another reorganisation and some more job cuts. So things are obviously not going great for Splinterlands. I think the community and the developer even feels that they've sort of had a lot of assets out there that haven't been utilised, and they're sort of splitting the company now. So one part will just focus on Splinterlands and work with the Splinterlands DAO to sort of make that a bit more vibrant. And then there's other games they're doing and other infrastructure they're doing that we split out into a separate company, or they're part of the same overall company. So hopefully we see this as sort of the bottom for Splinterlands. There is a new card deck, a new card sale coming out in 2023 called Rebellion. So that, at least for the hardcore people, may sort of bring back volume, if not sort of audience. So anyway, for these two main games that we've seen for many years as the top two games, it looks like they're sort of going through harder times now. Maybe more to do with the market than what they are doing themselves. Okay, but when we look at the sort of smaller games, so these are the games with sort of hundreds of thousands of daily active unique wallets. These are the second most popular blockchain games, ones with tens of thousands. So there's obviously a big scale difference here. And a bit more sort of a positivity, I suppose. So here we see Nine Chronicles, so this sort of PC-based idle game from South Korean company Planetarium, is on a quite a big growth curve. So it started off the year about 220,000 daily active unique wallets, heading towards 40,000. Probably not many bots in there, would say, because you have to sign up with a social media, so that doesn't mean that you can't have any bots, I suppose, but it is sort of relatively harder to onboard to that game than other games. You can't onboard with an email; it has to be a social media. Which, as I say, obviously people can bot social media logins, I suppose, but we'll see. So that's interesting to see. It's quite a good game, Nine Chronicles. I'm not played it recently, but when I was playing it, I always think it's more of a mobile game than a PC game because it's like an idle-based game. But obviously, they've been on quite a strong growth curve really since May, where they got down to about 10,000. Obviously got their own token and NFTs and stuff like that. So we'll see where that one goes. Upland in blue, very solid. They are announcing that they are moving some stuff to Ethereum, so they're going to have a token that's sort of pegged to their EOS token on Ethereum, so that will open up liquidity. We'll see how that goes on. Probably won't necessarily increase the on-chain activity in the game so much, but it'll be interesting for the game as an ecosystem. Axie Infinity in yellow, so August went up a bit, September's come down a little bit. With Axie Infinity, there's obviously a lot of, not obviously, there's the main sort of Axie Infinity game, and then there's a whole bunch of other games they're building out which are not really on chain at the moment. So I think there's more activity in Axie Infinity than we're seeing in terms of on-chain activity. They've just added some on-chain activity to Axie Homeland. So I think, just in terms of the amount of stuff, the amount of games they're putting out, they've got 4 different games out now, most of which in the very early stages. So we'll sort of see if that ecosystem starts to sort of flywheel. And then I've put in here Play Ember. So you can see in red here, very small. In end of June, it started taking off. Has some big peaks, come back down again. So every month I look at what's going on, and there are often games that have these big peaks and then sort of come straight down again. So I generally don't put those in because I think we want to have a bit of consistency. I just don't want to be putting in games that sort of go big and then collapse again. Play Ember, we'll see how it goes on. So they are a casual, they've been a hyper-casual mobile game developer in the past, and now they're building out a Web3 platform on the Near blockchain, actually. So they're in sort of a private beta, I suppose you would call it at the moment. So they're not open to the public as far as I can see. They're sort of doing a more platform approach. So we'll see how that sort of plays out. So obviously when you have these spikes, it tends to be they've opened something up or there's an airdrop going on or something like that. So they can drive up to 30,000 players for a day or so in there. It's coming back down more like a 10,000 capacity. So again, another one to keep an eye on. As ever in sort of 2023's sort of good news, bad news sort of situation. Interesting for Nine Chronicles. We look to see the bigger games like Alien Worlds and Splinterlands, whether they can sort of recover, and whether that depends really on what they're doing in the game, and whether that depends a bit more on market sentiment, or whether that's a combination of the two. We will wait and see. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you again soon.